Continue with our family teaching. We're up to question 19, which says, is there any way to escape punishment and be brought back into God's favor? Our scripture today in 1 Peter talks about Christ having died to bring us to God. It's the same idea here. And so, the answer is good news. Read it with me. Yes, to satisfy his justice, God himself, out of mere mercy, reconciles us to himself and delivers us from sin and from the punishment for sin by a Redeemer. We'll continue to unpack that in the weeks ahead, the good news of the Redeemer and who he is, but the significance of us needing a Redeemer outside of ourselves is super important. So please, as I always say, take some time this week to look into this. If this is not your first time through the catechism, let me encourage you. These are always like paragraph length answers snuck into a sentence. Ask yourself, what's the parts of this I take for granted? Words that you've just heard so much, maybe you grew up in the church and some of these things you just kind of tune out. And pause and let this be the week you chew on that and say, why? Why does this matter? Why does the justice of God matter? Or why does he have to reconcile us to himself? Like, what's with reconciliation? But take some time to look deeply into those. Please let those spur you on to a deeper knowledge of God himself. We have resources for you up online, continually being updated. That link will probably change in the weeks ahead. We're talking about changing it from New City Catechism to Family Teaching, so keep your eyes on that. Just because we figured catechism is an unnecessarily large word. It's Greek for teaching, so we thought maybe we'd just say teaching. I'm not really sure why in theology we just love to throw unnecessarily large words at you, so I'm trying to train myself out of that. I think the best way to reach each other with the truth of God is to do it in the language we all speak. So that's some of our efforts. We're not afraid of the word catechism. I'm a geek. I love that stuff. But we want it to be accessible. So those are some of the updates coming around the block.